For years, fans believed Chrissy Lampkin was just the ride-or-die fiancé. But behind closed doors, she was allegedly taking late-night calls from Cameron while Jim was out chasing checks to keep the family afloat. Now, the son who has remained silent all this time is tearing everything apart. I watched father remain silent while she tore us apart. That's not a line from a Netflix drama. It's Jim Jones's son talking about Chrissy Lampkin. It's a voice memo, which was leaked without any filters or script, is heartbreaking and damning. The lies, the betrayal, the nights he heard the arguments. The day he walked in and saw something he was never supposed to see. This isn't reality TV drama anymore. This is real blood, real betrayal, and a son finally sharing the story of his father, who was too broken to say it himself. Stay there, because after you hear what he reveals next, you won't look at Chrissy the same, because she didn't just break his heart. She destroyed everything we were holding together, and he stood there watching her burn it all down. That's not a rumor. It's a voice memo from Jim Jones's son, and it's been making the rounds in every group chat from Harlem to Houston. Hailed as the ride or die, the woman who waited, fought, and stayed. But behind the designer shoes, VH1 edits, and staged reunions, there was a different Chrissy. One who allegedly left broken pieces everywhere she went, including inside her own home. Now, that house of secrets is opening up because Jim Jones's son, who never spoke, is finally speaking. And he's not just talking, he's exposing. Let's go back a few years. People believed that Chrissy was emotionally entangled with Cameron, Jim's close friend Dipset's brother, family by loyalty rather than blood. There was a messy rumor that was only blog talk. But what if I told you that those rumors were true? And that Jim's own son saw the collapse from the front row? I was only a teenager, but I wasn't a fool. I saw the direct messages and how Jim looked at her after learning about it, but he remained silent as if nothing had happened. Now that the internet is on fire, the leak began with a mysterious Instagram story with just white letters on a black background that said, "Have you ever had to act like everything's cool knowing the woman who ruined your childhood?" No tags, names, or context, but fans knew. Within 15 minutes, Chrissy was trending once more. But this time, it wasn't for a new reality TV comeback. Rather, it was for what people are calling the betrayal of the Harlem house, when blogs attempted to get clarification. They were met with the voice memo, a 47-second clip that featured no music, filters or edits, just a grown man facing the demons that shaped his childhood. My pops isn't perfect, but I think he just gave up. To fully comprehend the gravity of this story, we must return to the original scandal, as the alleged affair with Cameron wasn't a one-night error. It was a 2-year emotional roller coaster, according to family sources, full of late-night FaceTime calls, secret hotel meetings when Jim was on tour, and a string of business trips Chrissy allegedly took alone, but always in the same cities as Cam. All of this sounded phony to us until an unnamed former Chrissy assistant, let's call her Kesha, came forward. Kesha worked for Chrissy from 2014 to 2016. And when she said she was going to LA to handle a shoot or do fittings, I always had to arrange her flights to wherever Cam was performing. I didn't fight on the phone. Jim and Chrissy are, according to Kesha, one night Jim flew out early to surprise Chrissy in Atlanta. And when he walked into her suite, he found Cam's wallet on the nightstand. Not Cam. Just the wallet, and Chrissy stood there, stunned and silent. I don't know what happened next, but she told me to cancel everything. And the following day, she was crying and shaking, and she left the hotel before sunrise. When this new wave of accusations hit, fans weren't surprised. In fact, many claim they had seen the signs all along. These are just a few fictitious but remarkably realistic-sounding Twitter comment highlights. Jim's son is saying what? In the second part of his leaked voice memo, Jim's son recounts a memory so personal and painful that it's sending shockwaves through the culture. We've all been thinking since 2012 that Chrissy Ben was moving funny dips at baby mama. She played The long game, got the ring, and still dipped on him emotionally. I remember that LHNY reunion and the way she looked at Cam when he showed up unexpectedly. That wasn't a friendly look. And that's when the internet's newest obsession with what actually happened in the Jones household began. My pop said, "You could have told me you didn't have to humiliate me like this when I was 14 years old," and heard them fight through the walls. I didn't comprehend everything, but I knew it was about him and Cam. And she responded, "Jimmy, you were never truly here, and I needed something real." "You were never truly here," that line said. The internet went silent because, whether it's real or not, that's a lasting scar, and now it's public knowledge. After that night, Chrissy stopped sharing family photos. Jim appeared aloof, and the chemistry that fans had once adored gradually faded into awkward quiet. The question is still why Jim never publicly addressed the Cameron rumors. Not even when Cam sneak dissed Chrissy in a song that mysteriously vanished from streaming the week after it was released. What does this mean for the Jones family's future? We're going to delve deeper because the next voice memo reveals something even darker that might explain why Jim never defended himself. Fans are now looking back on interviews and saying that the signs were all there. We just didn't want to believe it. One commenter wrote that the most dangerous lies are the ones we tell ourselves just to maintain a picture online. The next voice memo, which was posted anonymously but clearly in Jim's son's voice, dropped at 2:04 a.m., and it changed everything. I didn't say anything before because of my father. But as I watched him deteriorate year after year while she smiled for cameras as if nothing had ever happened, I realized that it wasn't love. It was manipulation. Let that breathe. It's not just about cheating anymore. It's about what happens after betrayal. Gaslighting the illusion because Jim was reportedly falling apart quietly behind closed doors while Chrissy was out here giving relationship advice on reality shows, building brands, and flipping tables for drama. Guess who was watching the entire time? Then I used to ask him, "Why don't you leave?" And he would just respond, "She's all I got, man." That stayed with me because he truly thought that she was his only choice. People would frequently inquire as to why Jim had never married Chrissy after all those years. Was it his cold feet, the profession, his personality, or something more profound? She had access to everything: bank info, passwords, contracts. She'd intercept his calls, delete messages, and cancel meetings without telling him. There were times Jimmy would show up, read a private direct message leaked to a gossip page by an ex-employee of the Jones family. Jim's son is exposing this because he fears that if he lets go, he'll lose not just a partner, but the only structure he's known, no matter how toxic. Imagine growing up in that chaos. If it's true, we're talking about emotional control on a whole new level. This isn't just betrayal. It's chess, move by move, piece by piece, until the board has only one king left and he's too exhausted to fight. Another leaked email purportedly from Chrissy's publicist to a television producer says, "Please do not bring up the Cameron rumors during the sit-down. Chrissy is open to discussing the evolution of her relationship with Jim, but the Cam narrative is off limits." Why would it be off limits if it was never true? Why would you avoid a ghost unless the most outrageous part is that Cameron is now making fun of himself on his Instagram story? He shared a video of himself from an old Dipsat music video standing next to Chrissy, captioning it, "Some memories aged like wine." Ghost was real, wearing pink mink and a sneer. It's not looking good for Chrissy fans, as they are now resurfacing. A 2016 interview in which Cam was asked about women in the industry, and he smirked. There was no context, no follow-up, just smoke. But the internet, it caught fire within hours. People began recovering old clips, piecing together timelines, comparing lyrics, and dissecting interviews after Archer Camosi went viral. Some women are loyal to the spotlight, not the man who holds it, he said. In the last seconds of the voice memo, Jim's son states, "She was toxic to us." to the whole family, and right there, everything clicked. This isn't just a relationship scandal. This is a family collapse, a years-long emotional erosion covered in lies. Many now believe that was a direct shot at Chrissy, and if it was, she never fired back. She never denied it. She simply pivoted. Now that Jim's son is voicing his side, a new narrative is emerging that positions Chrissy as the antagonist rather than the victim.